So, did Joan Rivers die from natural causes? Or did Joan Rivers die from an Illuminati conspiracy? So, I'm not saying that every single, you know, Hollywood death is an Illuminati conspiracy at all. In fact, if you've watched my videos over the years, you'll know that I don't go chasing after the current affair and trying to capitalize off of, other people's misery, if you will, or deaths. Unlike unlike some other, characters that we know, like Mark Dicey or Mark Lispy, whatever you want to call him. So the reason that I'm making this video is because I saw some, reports about her death, and I just saw some symbolism and some numerical significance to her death that I thought perhaps I could share some of the insights I have. So one of the first things that I noticed in this case was the fact that Joan Rivers had made some comments about the president, Barack Obama, being gay, and that his wife, Michelle, was actually a transvestite. And I'll show you that clip in just a second of her actually saying that. And people say, oh, she was just kidding. But when you watch the video, ask yourself, was she really kidding? It sounds to me like she was irritated. She was just, stating it as a fact. But what I found to be a red flag right away is the reasoning that she died. She died because of complications of throat surgery. Well, what does your throat do? Your throat is your voice. Your throat is where we speak from. And they are silencing her and sending out a symbol to let people know that the voice or the vocal cords is the very reason that they killed her or sacrificed her, whatever you want to say. So think about it. She's saying something against the President of the United States. Then the next thing we know is that her voice, her vocal cords are the reason that she dies. For those that have eyes to see, that's a clear message to me right away.
Do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
Michelle is a
I'm sorry, she's a what?
a transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. It's okay. She does the...
So it's very interesting that she dies because of her voice or her speech. So most people know that she's a Jew. She believes and fights for Israel, and she hates the Arabs. And that's no secret. She blatantly talks about that all the time and wishes they were dead, blah, blah, blah. So it was no surprise that she belongs to the Temple of Immanuel, which was actually founded by 33 German Jews. And of course, the Queen is a Germanic Jew, Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, and so is the Rothschilds family. They're German and they're Jewish. And of course, the Illuminati Freemasonic number of 33. Thus, the 33 Jews who founded the Temple of Immanuel. And of course, there are 33 degrees in the Freemasonic Scottish Rite. And of course, the number 33 is also important to the Jewish Kabbalah, or the Cabal of the Kabbalah. Now, Joan Rivers was a Russian Jew who was born in 1933. Now, on August 27th of 2014, Joan made a comment about Beyonce. The very next day, on August 28th, 2014, Joan slips into an induced coma. Induced means it was done on purpose. So there's some weird coincidences between Beyonce and Joan Rivers. So Beyonce was born on September 4th, 1981, and of course, Joan Rivers died on September 4th, 2014. So Beyonce was born in 1981, and then Joan Rivers died at 81. So Joan Rivers was born in 1933, and then she died on Beyonce's birthday, which was her 33rd birthday. So the esoteric numerology is very, strange, to say the least. Then, of course, the Obama and Beyonce connection as well. And since we're talking about birthdays, it brings me to the subject of Labor Day, which of course is a Freemasonic institution. And what's funny is that people actually believe that Labor Day has to do with working and giving everybody a day off from hard work. And of course, this is complete bullshit. You see, Labor Day falls on the first Moon's Day, Monday, named after the goddess Moon, and it's in the month of September, which is actually the 9th month. And how many months is a woman pregnant? They're pregnant for 9 months. So Labor Day has nothing to do with working. Well, it has to do with the woman having to work to give birth, but Labor Day is about going into labor and giving birth on the 9th month. So this whole ritual actually reminds me of a video I made many years ago about Princess Diana, who was sacrificed in a ritual on August 31st, the opposite of the goddess of the moon, which is August 13. And of course, Diana is the Roman moon goddess. And of course, they killed Princess Diana on the 13th pillar. And there are 13 moon cycles in a year. And of course, they killed her on the night the moon actually dies on the black moon. So again, we're seeing another ritual sacrifice during Labor Day. So Labor Day is based entirely upon fertility and mass sacrifice, which is why Labor Day is based upon the Haymarket Massacre. Massacre is mass sacrifice. And of course, the original official observed day for Labor Day was on May 1st, the day the Illuminati was formed. The Bavarian Germanic Illuminati. Thus the word itself, illum, to illuminate, and min, thus the moon god, the fertility god of the moon. The one god, or the mono god, the monotheistic god, which is why we have a monarchy, which is why they have a monopoly. So just as Princess Diana was named after the moon, so is Joan Rivers. The word Joan is from the moon, Johanna, the moon. And I've actually explained this before in past videos when I was talking about the ritual sacrifice of the Joan of Arc, which of course was held in the month of May. So I've explained many times about the month of September, which is the month of the scales of justice, of Libra, when the season or the earth goes into the underworld, the time of judgment, thus the time of separation. So September begins the time of the fall, when the earth goes to the underworld. So September, which is the 9th month, is actually the 7th month, and it's the ember months, September, October, November, December. And of course, this is why we saw the mass sacrifice on September 11th. And as I have explained, 9/11 is actually 7/11. And what time did Joan Rivers officially die? At 1:17 p.m., which of course is the inverse or the reverse of 7/11. And again, we have a connection with Joan and the moon because she went to Mount Sinai Medical Center. And like I've explained before, Mount Sinai is the mountain of the moon or the mountain of sin. And of course, she was on the 11th or the L-eventh floor. Now, they're going to hold the funeral for Joan on Sun's Day, the day of the sun, which is the 7th day. And they're going to hold it with a red carpet affair, which of course the red represents the blood, the sacrifice, on September 7th. Again, the 77, and plus Sunday, which is 7, So again, we have the 777, which is the same numerology we find with Aleister Crowley, the September 11th attacks, and of course the 7/7 bombings in London. And of course we have the Illuminati colors of the life and death of red and blue. And of course in my videos I have explained the bipolar dualistic principle of red and blue, the divided colors of red and blue, which is why Jesus wears red and blue, because he is the character of nature, exactly like the jester who wears red and blue. And of course Joan said that we're comics, we're court jesters, we're here to make you laugh. And of course it's the fake mask of the lies and the truth, or the good and evil of the jester mask of the actors. And of course Joan would always tease about her mask or her fake face and how she wishes she could take it off. So Joan was the jester, the two-faced liar, the trickster, and of course she was loved and hated by many. Her life has been full of controversy, like being married to someone who supposedly killed themselves. So who knows whether her comments about the President of the United States being gay and Michelle being a transvestite was or was not the cause of her death. We may never know. But from my point of view, I think there's something fishy. I mean, I know all about the presidents and how evil they are and the truth about them, which most people don't. So I don't believe these tricksters, these two-faced liars, these jesters, these jokers. I don't believe them for 1 second. Remember the whole controversy of the birth certificate of Barack Obama? And remember how he could never produce an actual copy, and never has and never will, because he probably really wasn't born here, etc., etc. And it's just the strangest thing on earth that the only person who can verify his birth just so happens to die in a plane crash in Hawaii. And if you watch the video, you'll see there's no way that anyone could have died on that plane crash. It landed ever so softly. So think about it, nobody else was even slightly hurt or injured. Everybody was just fine because they landed so softly. But for some reason, she was dead. And of course, it was on the 11th day of December. Thanks for watching. Peace, love, and wisdom. Truthiracy.